Hi guys, I was super excited about the question that I'm going to be answering for you guys for this common question video. Someone asked me a question that I actually know a lot about because I actually, experienced it for myself. And I do know quite a bit about it, so I'm really excited to answer it. Sorry, I keep saying that. But I'm hoping to get these common question videos out one a day because I know I've been slacking so bad on my Let's Plays. I don't want to do Happy Wheels until I can crop it out because it's going to be really shitty quality, and Minecraft, like I can do, I just haven't been around much. So I wanted to give my subscribers at least something to watch. But anyways, jumping right into the question, I actually don't have the question with me. I wrote it down somewhere, but I know basically what it said. It was about night terrors, and I had explained in my, I think, 20 Facts You Don't Know About Me video that I experienced night terrors when I was younger. If you don't know what a night terror is, well, first of all, I'll explain what they asked. They basically asked exactly what it was, how to deal with it, who gets it, how long does it last, blah, blah, blah. So basically everything about night terrors, I'm going to tell you everything I know about it. So basically, you have your nightmares, which occur in the REM stage of sleep, which is your deepest sleep, which is a rapid eye movement sleep, and it's this stage of sleep where you dream. Night terrors happen in the non-REM stage, is when you're like beginning to fall asleep. You're not quite there. What happens is when you're transferring between the non-REM and the REM stages of sleep, there may be a disturbance, and that suddenly sends a wash of fear over you. The night terrors are basically when you have nightmares, you wake up and the dream is over with. For night terrors, it still goes on even when you're awake. It's kind of like sleepwalking. The person who's having the night terror might seem awake, they might seem alert, but in reality, they're still sleeping. Same thing with sleepwalking. With night terrors, the person usually sits upright. They're either sweating, they could be hyperventilating, they can be hallucinating. Basically, the nightmare is happening right there in their bedroom. Who can get this? It's actually a very rare thing for people to get. Only 3 to 6% of the population has ever got it. And it happens for kids usually between the ages of 6 months and I think it's 7 years, something like that. Not very long at all, but in some cases it can last longer, which it did for me. It lasted until about 12. Now, are there things that kind of provoke these things from happening? Yes. One thing is if you're sick. I noticed that I tended to get them not every night. Some people can get them every night, but they when when I was more vulnerable, when I was sick, usually when I had a cold, I would have a night terror. Also, the things that kind of trigger this for people is like traumatic experiences, like a house fire or a divorce, loss of a pet, loss of a family member, something that's happened in your life. Also, excitement can cause it, stress can cause it. There's a bunch of different factors. Lack of sleep, your sleep pattern is extremely important in preventing night terrors. For parents, what should you do if you are experiencing your child having a night terror? Now, if you experience someone having a night terror, it's actually kind of a scary thing because you see the person there, they're screaming their head off saying, there's people in my room, there's, whatever. But you don't know what to do because there is nothing you really can do. The smartest thing to do is actually to stay away from the kid, because what night terrors can sometimes do is turn ordinary objects into something scary, like a monster or a torture thing or a war weapon. And it can even like turn people into evil people who are gonna hurt the person that's in a night terror. So it might even frighten them even more. It's not the case for everybody. But being a parent, well, I'm not a parent, but if you're a parent, your first instinct is to go comfort the child. And if you choose to do that, they're not easily calmed, they're not easily woken. So don't be startled, don't frighten them even more, just talk to them in a soothing voice. Music can help. They're not usually there with lights, so turning on the light really isn't going to do anything at all. Also turning on like everyday household noises that you would hear every day, like the television, like a blender, like I don't know, a timer, anything that can kind of bring that child back into reality. Basically, you're trying to break the bond between reality and a nightmare, but for the child, because they're stuck in this nightmare-like world. Trying to think. I don't know. I know a lot about this. I know a lot of people are like, well, aren't there medications that can help with this? Not really, to be honest. I know actually a couple medications. I think Benadryl is one of them. Begins with a B. I think it's Benadryl, can actually increase the risk and intensity of night terrors. So it's not very highly recommended. Honestly, most kids go back to sleep within 5 minutes, and others can take up to an hour. So it honestly depends on the frequency of it. It depends on if they're hurting you by thrashing around or trying to get you away from them because they think you're going to hurt them. Honestly, all depends. So that's pretty much all I know about night terrors. I am going to share a very quick story of my personal experience with them just so you can kind of get a feel. So basically, my parents got divorced since when I was 2 years old, and I'm going to be 19 next month. And I had night terrors from when I was about 2 to 12, so about 10 years, and it was always the same dream. And let me tell you about this dream. This is the odd thing. You know how nightmares sometimes don't make sense, but you're so terrified of it? Same thing happens with night terrors, but let me just tell you about my dream. So every single time I'd be lying in the dirt. I have no idea where I am. All I know is I'm lying in the dirt. I don't seem to be appeared hurt. I don't know what I'm wearing. But I know it's me, and going on in front of me is a bunch of people fighting, and it's only women and men. There are no children around. So, the heck? It was like a bird out my window. So they're fighting, but it's more like kind of a war scene, sorta. They're all in like one big cluster, like fighting each other. But here's the weirdest part of the dream: they're not fighting with like guns and swords and any other machinery. They're fighting with kitchen appliances like blenders and spatulas, like. But when I was in that night terror, like, the spatula was more dangerous than the largest meat cleaver you can find, and the blenders were more dangerous than the fastest machine gun. They were just scary to me. They were dangerous. They sent off signals. And then suddenly, from like the chaos and whatnot, this woman and her daughter, I don't know why I knew she was her daughter, I just knew, ducked out from underneath them and came toward me. And the woman had her hand, like, her arm extended toward me. And they were both dressed in, like, those old days with, like, the corsets and they weren't very big dresses. They were kind of like peasant dresses and had the bonnets on. The woman wasn't very old. She was maybe 35. The daughter was maybe about 17. But the woman would approach me and she had something in her hand and she would lay, like, 3 or 4 gold coins on my chest. And I could actually feel the coldness of the coins and the weight of coins on my chest. So it seems so real. Like, I could have sworn it was going on in front of me. So my mom and then I would wake up, and that's the end of the dream. But my mom used to always tell me that I used to wake up in the middle of the night screaming my head off, telling her that there were people in my room. And now that I've analyzed my dream, I understand that I really did think that there were people in my room. Being only 2 years old, I can't understand that they're not there. But I do remember, as I got older, I was kind of like, why can I not feel these people? Like, I felt the gold coins and stuff, and if they touched you, like, you could feel it and stuff, as if someone was really there. But I could not reach out and grab them. They weren't actually there, and I knew that. So, very, very confusing topic, but I'm really, really happy that someone asked me that question. I've always wondered why I've gotten them, and I hope that somebody that's dealing with the same thing will see this video. But that's my common question, or whatever, of the day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me about your scariest nightmare that you've had. Or if you've had night terrors, send me a message telling me what your night terror is about. Do you have the same dream or do you have different dreams? And if you have different dreams, are some reoccurring or some not? I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Bye!